Okay, so here we discuss about how what you do after grad school. This is intended to be a very short video on the basic things that happens, the timeline, the basic timeline. So it's not filled with detail, every possibility, every pathway. There are a lot of other pathways is also possible, but this gives a brief idea about how it looks like you after you graduate from your school with your master's degree. So so the first thing is like you one when you are studying. Okay, now when you're studying, you are already in your F1 status. So this is your F1 visa you'll be having. Okay, your passport will be having this one stamped. And so while you are a student, you will be in F1 visa, so you have to follow the norms of F1 visa and you have to comply to them. There are different rules for your the different rules and regulations that needs to be followed so that you are in status. Okay, so that you are in status, always in F1 visa status. You have to maintain it while you are studying for your 2 years. Okay, if you are not able to maintain the status, you will be out of status, and the visa will be revoked and there will be further repercussions. So so while you are studying, you will be having your F1 visa first. Then if we come to once you so this is F1 visa is for 2 years. Okay, this is for 2 years. Now, just before you complete your course, which is like there is a time frame, like you have to, like within student within your 90 days before program. So that means 3 months. 3 months before the course finishes, excuse, you have to apply for your OPT. Okay, so the next thing, after you are out of your college, okay, 3 months prior to your course finishing date, you had to apply for OPT. So 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 the next thing is your OPT, F1 OPT. After 2 years, you will be on F1 OPT. If you are if you are, this is also called the EAD document, employment authorization document. Once this EAD is approved for you, you can start working outside of your university, and for employers you can start working. So this so the application has to be 90 days prior to your course ending date, and then you can do that. And your I can show you this second. And so you have to contact your DSO, university DSO, while applying for this, and they will update the service is the record, like your entire record when you enrolled into the you got your I-20 and all service fee you are paying. So this is their information system. This is the record, like the master database that will be there till like you receive across when you're moving from one visa to other. So this record will be there, service record is there. Once someone exits US, and like if you want to drop everything completely, your service record is deleted. So this is your so so when you get your F1 OPT, your service is updated. And then like after 2 years of study, this F1 OPT is for 1 year. This is under normal circumstances, it is for 1 year. Okay, now So this is actually called the post completion, because you are after the course completion you are doing. So this is also called the post completion OPT. Okay, now this is where you can start your work with the employer, and you can start to repay your loans amounts and all. So this is different from your part-time work that you previously used to do with F1. Now with F1 OPT, so this gives you an opportunity to work for 1 year. Now you can get OPT, but if you have not yet got your job offer, then then you can utilize this time for your searching for job and all, applying to job, applying to different job offers. Okay, so this you will be doing during this period of time. Now if you are successful, you can get a job within this F1 OPT. So F1 OPT visa you will be applying. So there will be companies that will require F1 OPT. They will specially mention if they don't require F1 OPT. Okay, so it is always easier for like when we are saying for employers, if they want to employ foreign workers, then it is easier for them to hire a F1 OPT than a H1 visa. Okay, or hire visa. That's why even employers are looking for F1 OPT, because the overhead, the paperwork is less. Okay, and the liability is also less. So they are also looking for F1 OPT. So in F1 OPT you start applying to different jobs across US, different cities, and you connect and you, okay, so you try to do that for 1 year. Now with with F1 OPT, if you still fail to get secure a job within 1 year, okay, and you can you can apply you can apply for STEM OPT extension for 2 years. Okay, another 2 years it is possible to extend it. You have to you have to like you can't sit at home doing nothing and just searching for job. That is not allowed, because you will be out of status. But there are different other options. If you still don't have a job within your first year, and you can still be in status of the F1 OPT. So there are different, like people use they there are different hacks that people use. Okay, even if you don't have your like for example they use uh, letters from consultancies. So based on that, because if you are not having a job before OPT, because even F1 OPT requires a job offer. So your DSO, and when you are applying for this, this is a work visa kind of thing, EAD. That's why you need a job offer before this. But even if you don't have a job offer, you can still manage it. Now that's the clause. Okay, you can manage it somehow indirectly, and in the meantime you can actually search for the actual job in your first year, OPT first year. And then also you have to keep on like within status, because the status requirement is that you cannot be unemployed for equivalent of 4 months. Okay, so let me just write it down. So for 4 months, equivalent of 4 months. Okay, it doesn't need to be continuously 4 month. You can't stay unemployed for equivalent of 4 month. Okay, this is the requirement for F1 OPT, because if you are unemployed in this for 4 month equivalent, then you'll be out of status of your F1 OPT. So that's why you have to manage it somehow. You have to manage it, and you have to manage this unemployment accumulation also. Okay, uh, so you have to manage it and search for job if you don't have. Now this is the case. Okay, 1 year and plus 2 year extension is possible. And in some cases, for example, so Now in extreme cases you can also so that there are restrictions. Okay, now who can be your employer is a restriction, because they need to be registered in your, that is USCIS e-verify program. So the employer must be registered with this, so that they can sponsor, or they can you can work for in F1 OPT for these. Now in extreme cases, there is another possibility that you have your own company. Like for example, you want to register a startup in US and you want to work. You can't get the money because of the visa terms, but that experience is counted, and it is not like it will not contribute to your 4 month equivalent of unemployment, that uh, uh, period. Okay, so this is one of the hacks that is there. And if someone does not have a job, like you can register, and automatically if you register your company, you will be registered for e-verify, your company will be, and you can't get any revenue, but you can still work, and the work must be related to your field of study, your major. Okay, so even that experience counts, your own startup experience counts. Otherwise your employer experience will count. And once you have your F1 OPT, your employer is there. Once you get your job, then once your F1 OPT expires, say for example, if you don't need extension, or okay, if you don't need F1 OPT extension, if the employer wants to apply for your higher visa, then they can also apply it after 1 year, and you don't need a OPT extension. Okay, so the logically, the after this F1 OPT status, F1 OPT visa, your employer will file on behalf of you for your H1 visa finally. So this F1 OPT, it may last for 1 year to 2 years. Okay, now once you are done with that, your employer will file your H1B, and you will be in H1B status. Okay, this visa is granted for 3 years to 6 years. Okay, typically it is for 3 years. It can be extended to 6 years. It can be extended to a maximum 6 years, but there are some different other visa categories also where it is more than 6 years. But typically it is 3 to 6. Okay, now now after your H1B expires, there are other options. Like if you are not in green card process, or and your H1B is ending or something like that, then you can recourse back to F1 visa or some other visa which require money. Okay, you can buy them. So those kind of options exist. But after this H1B, so logically your employer also sponsors for your green card process. So after H1B, that is 3 year to 6 year, within this period of time, you will your employer or your US relative, or yeah, normally these two, your US relatives also can sponsor you for green card. And then after this, you are led to the green card process. So so this is how you will be doing. There are many different pathways, and it's absolutely like there are always options for things, and you need to be very proactive, and you have to track everything, you all the deadlines. So I'll be discussing with you about a tool where it's very easy to track these details. Okay, so you need to track everything. You need to like a Gantt chart kind of thing. Okay, so you need to track everything. You need to be so you don't miss the deadlines and all those things. There are different software tools that are available to do these things, and they will help you immensely. I'll be discussing in future all those hacks, like tools which you can use it to, because the US immigration process is a very complex maze, and only it is complex. It's not any difficult, but it is complex. You need to be aware of it. So I just tried to give you a brief overview of how it looks like after college. Okay, so we can have a summary of the same thing. So you start with your F1, F1, then you move to F1 OPT, then you move to H1B, and then finally your green card process. Or if you want, you can come back after H1B also. So that's up to you.